Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Monday, March 27th. Ian Cameron with Dutch and with Billy Briz. Skee Profit will be along momentarily as well, ready to break down this Monday NBA card. We got a big slate on tap. We've got 8 games in the association tonight. So let's get right into it. We will start with Dallas and Indiana. We've got the Mavericks, 4-point road favorites. Money coming in on Dallas here. Total 238, 238.5 in this game. Dallas just continues to be struggling, and just things are falling apart left and right. 4 straight losses for the Mavericks. It's pretty tough to lose back-to-back games to the Charlotte Hornets. Somehow this team did that in the last few games. It's just been not very good. You saw the press conference a few days ago. He's lost his fun. He doesn't have his joy anymore playing basketball. Luka Doncic. I mean, this team is not even in a playoff spot right now. 3-9 is the record with Luka and Kyrie playing in the same game for the Dallas Mavericks. That's atrocious considering the level of talent they both have. Individually, that is. But as chemistry, as far as that's concerned, there is none right now for this Mavericks team. And Indiana is off a 143-130 loss to the Atlanta Hawks on Saturday. But it's back-to-back on the road for Dallas. Indiana's struggling too. They've lost 4 of their last 5. There's, again, question marks about the status of Tyrese Halliburton. Seems to be that way every day now with him. Ankle injury, questionable for this matchup tonight. He played through the ankle issue in the 2 games, Friday and Saturday, back-to-back. Now, could they look to give him some rest tonight? We'll have to wait and see. And Andrew Nembhard props are definitely going to be what I look at, especially if Tyrese Halliburton is a no-go tonight for the Pacers. He's been playing good lately anyway, but especially with the usage going up, you would think if there's no Tyrese Halliburton tonight. So I do like Nembhard props if he doesn't show up, but there's just no way I'm laying 4 with Dallas. I get the questions about Halliburton's status, but if he's in, I'm on Indiana, period. End of story. There's just a toxic situation, no chemistry, 3-9 with Kyrie and Luka on the floor. You don't want any part. I don't want any part of this Dallas team. Skee, what do you think here? It's not Skee. Dutch, what do you think? I'm used to going to Skee first. Dutch, what do you think here? Dallas, Indiana.
Yeah, man, real quick. Salute to the ladies, gents, and DJs for tuning in. You already know it's all love. I think we're about to get our boy Skee here in just a moment. But while we do that, if y'all would motherfucking hit the like button, like I'm hitting this motherfucking playing a Black Mamba, get you right where you need to be. Yeah, that's right. The Black Mamba, the Granddaddy Perk, crossed with the Black Diamond OG. Yee. But yeah, man, this basketball game, I like Dallas early. And this is a spot play, honestly. Everything you could say. I agree with a lot that you said. I mean, the Mavericks, they cover the fucking second least in the NBA at 38% of the time. So you're not profitable if you're betting the Dallas Mavericks full game. I just don't see it. But I think this kind of, Kyrie's kind of been raked kind of through the coals the last couple days. The Luka talk. We see all this memes and now all these shit about Luka. Is Kyrie the cancer? He's took their record together. And I just think, man, come on. They lost back-to-back to the Charlotte Hornets. Kind of embarrassing, right? Luka was supposed to not be in this game. Now he's in. That's why the line jumped from 1 to 4. Yeah, man, I like him early. I think you got a team in the Pacers, their first game back after a 4-game road trip, starting a little slow. I do believe they'll start a little slow. And I took the -1.5 on Dallas. We know what we talked about. We used to cash on this shit like it was the thing to fucking do with the Mavericks first quarter. I think we get the full Luka first quarter. I think we're going to get a pissed off Kyrie and probably an angry Kyrie or an angry Luka as well. And Jason Kidd's kind of got to step to the front of the line here. And I mean, he's got a lot of talent. Say what you will about the trades, about Kyrie, but you still got a lot of talent there. Like, this is embarrassing. So I think they take advantage of Indiana early. I wouldn't lay the 4. I know that full game. Indiana, the Mavericks, it's just in the numbers, man. They're pretty fucking bad full game. I don't trust Indiana. One game back at the crib, all they had after the road trip. So yeah, give me the Mavericks. Luka the motherfucking Don and Kyrie to shine early. -1.5, man. It's good money.
I think if you like Dallas at all, which I do not, the thing you like if you bet something here, look at Luka, just the PRA essentially, because he's gotten average 55 points, rebounds, and assists 3 straight games, and it's only 48.5. Probably gets over that. Like if Dallas is going to win this game, he's going to have a huge night. What do you think here, Billy Briz? Give us the reasons for Dallas.
Yeah, Luka won't be suspended for this game. I have a lot of the same reasons that Dutch has. I mean, the Mavericks' recent form has been highly concerning, and ultimately their season really relies on tonight's game. They're 3-0-1 ATS in their last 4 road games, 3-1-1 in their last 5 games overall. Pacers have been dreadful, though, of recent 1-4 ATS in their last 5 games overall, and the Pacers are the league worst first quarter team ATS-wise, 27-46-1 ATS first quarter so far this year. So with that, I like Dallas playing aggressive pretty early. Like Dutch said, the negative press they're receiving, if they're going to try to start winning these games, they got to start doing it early. And yesterday was an anomaly where they scored, I think it was like 17 or 19 points in the first quarter. I think Dallas comes out hot and early. And then for the people that hating on the Kyrie and Luka combo, the best part about the first quarter is one of those two motherfuckers are going to get subbed out, and then we're going to have one of them for the whole entire rest of the first quarter. And it's going to be nice, easy money, straight backwood. Dutch already knows the vibes. We didn't even talk about it on the same exact play. It's my favorite play of the day. It's the Dallas Mavericks first quarter.
All right, liking them early here. I will say that it is off the road trip. I will say that for Indiana. That's not a great situation for them off the road trip. So if you like the Dallas early in the game, I could see that from that standpoint because it's not the easiest. But by the way, I forgot to mention Hield is not going to play for Indiana. He's doubtful. So it's not just Tyrese Halliburton questionable, but Hield is doubtful as well. Beware, because now we're down to the last, 2.5 weeks of the regular season, essentially. I mean, the play-in tournament is 2 weeks away. So, we're right around the end of the regular season here. So there's a lot of injuries and load management and rest, players getting rested. So keep an eye on this. It's a constant changing, fluid situation, game to game in the NBA every day with who's in, who's out. What do you think here, Skee? Skee's with us now, Dallas, Indiana.
Yeah, my stuff is not working. I don't know if y'all can hear me good or not.
We hear you. Yep.
All right.
We see your smile.
I have to go with Dallas. Probably, I agree with what the guys are saying about the first quarter. I mean, if you listen to everything that they're saying after a game, that's all they're talking about. The past 2 games, the reason why they fucked up is because they got off the slow starts, and they're saying that they got to actually care and try to play defense, and it all starts in that first quarter. When they start talking about it in the locker room at halftime, it's too late. So if you like Dallas, I think you should take them early versus a Pacers team who's been the worst first quarter margin team all season long. And could also be missing a couple more guys. I mean, you have Hallie on the injury report, you have Turner on the injury report, et cetera, et cetera. So I like them early, and I just think they're favorites for a reason. They haven't covered in how many games now, and you see a -4 here. I think they'll beat up on Indiana. As bad as their defense has been, it's not as bad as the Pacers. Last 2 weeks, I think Pacers are allowing like 124 points per game. So they're the better offensive team, which I think they will be. They're a better defensive team, which they have been. But if Miles Turner misses, they'll probably be the better rebounding team too. I have to think Dallas gets the job done here. So Dallas early and often.
I do like Luka props tonight. PRA, points by itself, points, rebounds, assists. I would be shocked if he doesn't go, crazy tonight and go have a huge night. Win or lose for Dallas, he'll have a big night. I think I'm pretty sure of that for the Dallas Mavericks. All right, next up, we've got Milwaukee and Detroit. Milwaukee 13-point road favorites, 227.5 the total. Detroit's taken the money, and the total's gone down from 232 to 227.5 here for this game. Large amount of absences here for the Bucks tonight. Giannis Antetokounmpo is downgraded to out. He won't play. Drew Holiday is going to be out as well for the Milwaukee Bucks. So obviously big absences there. And game time decision as well for the veteran Jay Crowder, although he's been upgraded to probable, so he'll be good to go. But Holiday and Giannis are obviously the big absences here for Milwaukee. As far as Detroit goes, Bogdanovich, Burks, Diallo, and Isaiah Stewart, they've been basically out for multiple games. They're still going to be out for them tonight here for this one. Obviously Detroit has had a rough go. I mean, they couldn't even cover against the team they always cover against, the Toronto Raptors over the weekend. So that tells you all you need to know about how pathetic they are at the moment. I mean, they're just brutal. I mean, 1-9 straight up. They've covered 2-point spreads in their last 10 games. The last few losses have been ugly: 19-point loss, 12-point loss, 22-point loss, 21-point loss. They've been utterly non-competitive. So I want no part of Detroit, but you read the tea leaves with Milwaukee and Giannis and Drew Holiday sitting. I'm not in a rush to lay 13 either. So it's a clear pass for me. What do you think here, Skee? Bucks, Pistons?
This is a game that you really don't have any reason to bet. I mean, all the talent that's missing on both sides, the only thing I can think of here is to go and bet the under. So that's the way I'll lean, but probably the least interesting game of the day.
Yeah, that's an understatement right there. What do you think here, Dutch, Milwaukee, Detroit?
Yeah, man. Shout out to G Martinez, liking that first quarter as well in the previous game. Dutch AOD, my guy. See you, my man. Drip Skylark, new name in the chat. Good to see a new name. Yeah, this game, I'll give you a little something. The Bucks have beat these boys by 20 points in 2 games. So we beat them twice already by 20 points this year. But the Bucks are somewhat suspect on the road. They do win on the road, but they win by average of 1 point per game on the road. So I think realistically, you have to look at the home dog here. But who wants to rush and bet the Detroit Pistons? But if you had to bet this game, it is the Pistons, man.
You know what? Long-term, Dutch, they're a good home underdog. They just haven't been lately because they've been just so that's how bad they've been. That even lately they haven't been as good a home dog. Like in the Casey era, though, they've been last couple seasons, the home dog rule, the big home dog rule has been not bad for Detroit. But and I still struggle to bet them tonight because they've just been so bad. Here's one thing I would look at here at Bet365. It's not a prop type. It's not a player prop I look at often. Turnover props, but Killian Hayes for the Pistons has over 2.5 turnovers in 7 straight games for the Detroit Pistons. Over 2.5 turnovers, 7 straight games. He's turned it over at least 3 times, which doesn't surprise me. He's a shitty point guard, in my opinion. So you look at it, I'm not shocked by this. He's actually gone over 2.5 turnovers in 7 straight games for the Detroit Pistons. It's minus 130. That I might look at. That I probably will bet. What do you think here, Billy? Bucks, Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucks are probably going to win this game. That's not really breaking news. It's just that, I mean, they're 5-7 as double-digit point favorites this year, 12-2 ATS last 14 road games, 8-1-1 ATS last 10 meetings in Detroit, and 16-4-1 ATS last 21 meetings head-to-head. The Pistons season, for the most part, I mean, there's little to no motivation on the roster left for the season. But player prop-wise, I like Jaden Ivey over 5.5 assists, minus 140. Blowout in a Pistons game is always in the cards, but they got blown out in their last game. He played 41 minutes and got 8 assists on 19 potential assists. He's gone over his assist prop 5 out of his last 7 games. In the last one versus Milwaukee, he had 11 assists. With the Hornets win yesterday, the Pistons are officially locked into a top 3 seed in the lottery. So I think we might see some backdoor covers by the Pistons to end out the season the last couple of weeks.
God, it feels like it's perfect for the Pistons to cover, and yet that's how bad they've been. I mean, it's hard to pull the trigger here. Yeah, Pistons, like if you really want to get pulled, like could it be one of those games where Pistons lose by 20 or win? I don't know, maybe. AOD liking a sprinkle on the money line, tequila money on the money line with the Detroit Pistons. It's a bold call. All right, Houston and New York. We've got the Knicks 13.5 point home favorites. 230 is the total in this game. It's a lot of points to be laying, obviously, with the Knicks here against the Houston Rockets. But if you look at the way the situation sets up, it is back-to-back on the road for the Rockets. They were in Cleveland last night. They get drilled 108-91. New York's been sitting there essentially back home after their 2-game Florida trip since, Thursday was their last game. So they haven't played since last Thursday. So this has definitely been a lot of time off for New York, and they're off 3 straight losses. So this might not be a spot where they take the Rockets lightly, coming off those 3 straight defeats. You look at earlier this year, they played on New Year's Eve in Houston, and it was 108-88, a 20-point win on the road for the New York Knicks. They beat down the Rockets pretty good, and I could see something similar tonight. Honestly, in this game, might look at a first half here with the Knicks, which I don't do often, but it's minus 7.5 to minus 8. With the New York Knicks first half. It's kind of like a first quarter, first half type deal. in this one. 4.5 in the first quarter, 8 in the first half with the New York Knicks. I don't mind that whatsoever. We do have to keep an eye, though, on the status of Brunson, questionable with the hand injury, missed the Orlando game due to that injury, but he's questionable right now. Houston, like I say, they're fully healthy, but I don't know if that's going to matter necessarily. We've seen the Rockets get their doors blown off 2 straight games against Memphis and Cleveland. So definitely a Knicks spot. Back-to-back for Houston on the road. I would look more, though, toward Knicks minus 4.5 first quarter, minus 8 first half, though, if I'm going to bet New York here. What do you think in this one, Skee, with the Rockets Knicks?
Yeah, I think you have to look at the Knicks here. I didn't really go to the first quarter, but I'm not mad if you want to get started that early. I think the advantage, though, is more towards the Knicks the more the game goes on. I know they've been a team who, been fast starters, especially at the house. They're 25-10 against the spread in the first half at home. I don't know if I already said that. I think I did, but I like that. You look at how Houston's been playing the last 10 first halves on the road. They're 3-6-1. So just combining all that, looking at the rest advantage as well, 3 days for the Knicks to think about all these things they've been losing to fix whatever they've been doing wrong, which has been the defense. And just going up against a really poor Rockets team who doesn't perform well on back-to-backs. I'm looking at them as a double-digit underdog on the second of a back-to-back. They haven't covered one time. They lose by an average of 20, a little bit more than 20 points per game. So I think the Knicks are the right side, whether you take them first quarter, first half, full game. Personally, I like the first half and full game a little bit more.
And keep in mind, if Brunson doesn't play, that's going to get the Manuel quickly spidey senses tingling inside me. And I still might bet him anyway because he's just been that go-to prop for me for weeks now, Emmanuel Quickly for the New York Knicks. So, but it'll be a stronger bet if Brunson doesn't go in this one. Yeah, you're right about that fact that maybe the full game. This is one time, even though it's a huge number, 13.5, full game might actually be worth a look because you would think the Rockets get drained later in the game, tail end of this second of back-to-back on the road here. What do you think here, Dutch? Houston, New York.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Razor Sharp Picks in the building. Good to see you, my man. Hopefully enjoyed your weekend. Nice, beautiful picture with you and your daughter Harper. Jung Lee in the motherfucking building. Good to see you as well. Abel, I see you, my dude. Yeah, man. I don't know why I feel different about this one, man. I'm not gonna bet this fucking basketball game. This is the one game where I feel like if you want a live bet, I don't know. You guys seem to think the Knicks are going to come out hot. I think they're going to be kind of chilling, honestly. Last time they played these boys, Bobano touchdown, they smacked them around by 20, really just on cruise control. Now they had 3 days off, kind of like, I don't know. It's the Houston Rockets. Houston got smacked around last night against Cleveland. I think they might come out a little bit and play. I think you could get the Knicks at a way, way better number. I mean, these are crazy numbers first half. I know it's a Knicks spot, but goddamn, these are big numbers for the Knickerbockers. So I would expect them to start a little slow, and then get some better value on the Knicks because eventually they'll handle business. But yeah, I see a little different. I don't know. I just feel that the Knicks are going to start slow in this basketball game with the extra 3 days rest.
Well, I remember early in the season, they were really good starting strong at home because we had those games where we see it all the time early in the season. First few months, they were the kings of starting out hot, big lead at halftime, and then blow it in the second half. The Knicks did that a lot earlier in the season, but they've at least learned how to play a little bit better post halftime. We'll see tonight they can do that. What do you think here, Billy?
I have a lot of the same sentiments as Dutch, man. I expect the Rockets to come out gritty tonight, despite their bad record. They're 3-1-1 ATS, last 5 overall. They're 5-14 though ATS, last 19 road games. The Knicks are usually a better road team than home team, but of recent their home form has been pretty good. 6-2-1 ATS last 9 home games, and 9-3-1 ATS in the last 13 games overall. The Rockets have played well though in New York historically. 9-3 ATS last 12 meetings in New York. But 1-6 in their ATS in their last 7 meetings head-to-head, while the Rockets are a hard team to really back. I mean, when the Knicks lay double-digit touchdown points, man? That's ridiculous. The fact that Knicks are laying 14 is wild. They've been double-digit favorites twice this year, and they lost both games ATS-wise when they were double-digit favorites this year. But my favorite player in this game is player prop-wise, Jalen Green, over 2.5 3-pointers, plus 110. He's gone over his 3-point prop in 4 out of his last 5 games. the Knicks' 3-point defense has really fallen off in the month of March, and this is a solid spot to back Jalen Green. Jalen Green here in MSG, I think he's going to go off tonight. I wouldn't mind the point prop either at 21.5.
All right, liking Jalen Green over threes and over points here for the Houston Rockets tonight. All right, Phoenix and Utah. Yeah, don't remind them. Those are bad memories. Bad memories. Yeah, Phoenix, 7-point road favorites there in this one. The total currently 234 in this game. I can't lay 7 with Phoenix on the road. Phoenix is just one of those teams. I don't like laying these kind of points with them on the road. And the recent road performances prove it. You know, they're 0-4 straight up in ATS, their last 4 road games. Golden State, Thunder, Lakers, Clippers. They lost, or Sacramento, I should say. They lost all 4 of those games on the road, the Phoenix Suns. So I'm not really interested laying 7 with them. Durant's still out. Looks like DeAndre Ayton is upgraded to probable. Will play tonight for the Suns. He's missed the last 4 games, so they will like having him back. The Utah Jazz tonight, looks like for them, Clarkson's still out, and Lauri Markkanen, who's been in and out lately, has been dealing with this hand injury. He's been out the last 2 games for Utah. He's a game-time decision tonight for them with the hand injury, so keep an eye on this. He may not go, so if he doesn't go, that's a big loss for Phoenix or for Utah, but I'm not ready to lay 7 with Phoenix. I'm not actually leaning Utah a little bit, but I'm waiting to see if Markkanen plays. It is worth noting for the Suns, they're off the big home win against Philadelphia. And then they've got home games against Minnesota and Denver coming up after tonight. So it's not exactly the greatest spot. They got bigger games, bigger competition coming up than this game here against Utah. So I think it's a good Jazz spot. I'm just waiting to see if Markkanen's going to play. But I lean Jazz. What do you think here in this one, Skee? Suns, Jazz?
I would want Markkanen in, but I would probably just lean towards the over based on how these teams have been playing lately. Last 2 weeks, they're combined 12-2 to the over, and on home road splits, it's 8-0 to the over. So that's the only way I would think to play it. I didn't get involved yet, though.
All right, lean over, but again, just like me, kind of waiting on the lineups to be confirmed. What do you think here, Dutch? Phoenix, Utah?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Star Child. Jacqueline, I see you, young lady. Justin in the building. Troy, I see you, my man, Mr. Torrance. Yeah, this game, I felt like I should be on Phoenix here. I feel like they should win this basketball game. Then you do start winning some motherfucking basketball games. But, man, the only thing I can really say positive about Phoenix is they have covered 4 of the last 5. You know, other than that, you touched on it. They 0-4 straight, 4 straight on the road against the number. They've only covered 1 basketball game in the last 8. It's kind of, you know, but I do believe the number's pretty sharp. You know, I do believe it. The Jazz last 5 losses, have been by an average of 8 points per game. So I think this number's pretty sharp, to be quite honest with you. I do think the Suns handle business tonight, but it probably will be right around the number.
All right. What do you think here, Billy? Suns, Jazz?
Yeah, I mean, the Suns can't keep on letting these games really slip away like this at the end of the season. I mean, they're 0-4 in their last 4 road games, 1-7 ATS in their last 8 games overall. But DeAndre Ayton should be back for this one tonight. The Jazz are 1-4 ATS in their last 6 home games, but 7-2 ATS in their last 9 games overall. Even without those guys in the lineup, they've been balling of recent. The over for both teams is really trending to this one. Like Skee was saying, the over is 9-1-1. In the last 11 games overall for the Jazz, and the over is 9-1-1 in the last 11 games for the Suns. And they played really well in Utah of recent, 4-1 ATS, last 5 games in Utah. On papers, it feels like this is a Sun spot, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz end up backdoor covering a touchdown line. But my favorite play in this game is Devin Booker, over 30.5 points, -115. Booker scored 31 or more points in 7 out of his last 10 games. He gets a favorable matchup versus the Jazz, who ranked 26th in defending shooting guards this year. But over the last 15 games, they have allowed the most points to the shooting guard position, allowing the likes of Kevin Huerter, Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen, and Shaedon Sharpe to all clear their props and scoring at least 20 points. So Booker's last game versus Utah, he had 49 points. He's averaging 38 on the year versus Utah. Really good spot for Devin Booker tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And he's been going over his point prop a lot. The matchup's good. You mentioned the shooting guard defensive struggles of Utah. So, yeah, it definitely matches up well. I like Kelly Olynyk on the Utah side. I mean, points and rebounds in 5 straight games he's gone over. Anything Kelly Olynyk, rebounds and assists, rebounds and, like I say, points and rebounds, 5 straight, anything Kelly Olynyk. He's been really good lately for the Utah Jazz. So, again, 5 straight he's gone over points and rebounds, but in particular, that's the one I like the most for Kelly Olynyk tonight on the Utah side. All right, next up, we've got Philadelphia and Denver. The Denver Nuggets 7-point home favorites here, 228.5, 229 is the total in this game. Saturday night, I thought this was just an absolutely beautiful spot to bet Denver. Saturday night at home against Milwaukee. Milwaukee was on the back-to-back, and Denver ended up crushing Milwaukee, 129-106 in that game. Third straight win for the Nuggets. Overall at home, they had those weird 2 losses at home against Brooklyn and Chicago, but before that, they had been just absolutely terrific on their home court. Back on the beam with that win against Milwaukee. I mean, if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, frustrating weekend, falls short in that thrilling game Friday night against Golden State, 120-112, and then a tough spot on the back-to-back Saturday against Phoenix. It was probably a good spot for Phoenix. I didn't bet Phoenix, but they felt like they were in a good spot against Philadelphia on Saturday night, and they ended up winning that one handily. Now the Sixers off back-to-back road losses. They're looking to step up here tonight against Denver, but Joel Embiid's been ruled out with the calf injury. Precaution is the way the Sixers are going about it, which makes sense with the playoffs right around the corner. James Harden will play, though. The Achilles injury that's kept him out for 3 games, he will be back tonight for the Philadelphia 76ers. And, I think if you're going to look at props for Philadelphia right now, I still say Tyrese Maxey's your guy. I mean, who knows after the Achilles injury how Harden's going to be feeling tonight. Joel Embiid ain't there. Who's going to score? It's got to be Tyrese Maxey, right? So I think Tyrese Maxey props are a good bet here on the Philly side. Without Embiid, I don't want Philadelphia.
That shit's a little high, though, Babano.
Yeah, it is. It's getting up there, and the reason for that is obviously Harden off the Achilles. Who knows how much he's going to be willing to shoot and be good shooting the ball. And then meanwhile, Embiid out. So it's high, but it's high for a reason on Embiid. Or on Maxey. If you think Maxey's props are too high, then you take a shot with a Tobias Harris or someone else maybe in this game to help step up offensively. But I think it's a tough game. I mean, do I want to lay 7 with Denver now after a huge, thrilling, big win against Milwaukee? I'm not sure, but I don't think I can back Philly without Embiid. So has me off this game side-wise. But I'll look at that prop there with Maxey in this game. And then on the Denver side, I would look at Jokic over assists. I mean, Jokic has been really, facilitating the offense lately for the Nuggets team. Only 9.5 as assist prop, probably goes over that. What do you think here, Skee? Philly, Denver?
I wanted to bet this game under initially just because of the pace these teams have been playing at. And I just thought, Embiid versus Jokic, it might be more of like, high intensity kind of game. And I thought they'd try to play a little more defense. But no Embiid, he's ducking the smoke here. And without Embiid, Philly plays more towards the over to play a little bit faster. So I'm off my initial look. At this point, I probably would just be betting Denver because I feel like they have the better talent and they're at home where they've been good all year. And, the way I feel, I just, maybe a little rant, but NBA is so, I don't want to use the word I'm thinking of, but NBA is just, these players, it's not the same. And I don't like it. They soft. I guess I'll just use that word to be nice about it. They soft. And Embiid going to talk all this shit and then come in here and not play versus Jokic.
Yeah.
I want to go bet Jokic MVP. I feel like just off of that. Like, how you gonna go bet?
Embiid told everybody he wasn't gonna play in this game on Saturday night.
I don't.
Is he? Well, there's a difference between is he out because he's hurt and he's really feeling some pain.
He said Saturday night after the Suns game, he said, "I'm feeling a little bit tired. We came out sluggish, and the reason why we lost this game tonight is because I was tired. I'm about to sit out these next."
They're already separating the games to create more days off in between games. What the fuck?
He said he was sitting out the next couple of days. He said you don't expect him to play the next couple of days.
Listen, Billy. Jokic won back-to-back MVPs and Embiid been fucking crying. You're not sitting out this game if you want MVP. If you think
what do you want him to do? Fry him again? No, you fried him the first time. What the
if
fuck
you tired, sit the other fucking games. Don't sit this game. You go out there and show everybody why you deserve to be MVP. So I think Jokic should win it just off the strength of that because Jokic's been performing all year, and I think Denver's the right side today.
I would like to see him play, honestly, tonight. He should, I think. Adam Silver's already bent over to these players saying, I'm going to give you more days off than ever before in between games this year in the regular season. And we're still got guys that are out because they need the rest. They just got, come on. Especially in a game like this.
They need the TV views, Babano. You got to read between the lines. They need the TV views. It's a 9:30 game. They want people to tune in the other stuff around that time.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. I agree. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to bet. It's frustrating to watch. What do you think here, Dutch, with Philadelphia, Denver?
Yeah, man, it's pretty watered down. It's pretty unfortunate. Yeah, I like the Nuggets though, man. I really do. I think it's a Nugget spot. They lost to Philly, to the Sixers in Philly by 7 back on January 28th. Now you get him back, man, Embiid running his mouth, like really running his mouth, and then so I think Joker and them boys, they're just gonna rally around him, and I don't give Embiid probably be at the game just getting taking that shit on the bench, really. So. I like Denver at the crib. They're bet on in the spot where I think with Embiid or without Embiid on the court, they're still he rallied these boys up talking that shit. So I look for the Nuggets to do what they've done. Mike Malone went on that rant about talking that shit about you need defensive players, and they didn't really respond. The first game or two. But the last 3, they've won 3 straight, holding their opponents to like 106, 102, 104, barely breaking 100. So the defense is starting to click. We know they got the talent over there in Denver. Even if Michael Porter Jr. don't go, I think I got a better number, but I still think 7's good money. These boys run away with it at the crib. They're 16-6 against the number last 22 at the house. They up the competition too. They play up to the competition. 11-4 against the last 15 against the number against a winning team. And at the house, you don't be scared of the big number. When they win by an average of 11 points per game at the crib, shooting 52% per a game from the field. So they do it pretty much at ease. They got, like I said, they're fully loaded roster. They do it consistently. They could put the ball in the bucket at the crib. I like them to run Philly out the gym full game. The 7's good money.
All right, liking the 7 here with Denver. All right, Billy, what do you think here? Sixers, Nuggets.
Backwood for me.
All right.
All right, we move on now. Next game, it is Minnesota, Sacramento. Sacramento 5.5-point favorites. Actually, up to 7. It's just moved. Wow, it's moved, I guess, just recently. Up to 7 now. 238.5 the total. Well, isn't that just – I liked Sacramento at 5.5. I still do, actually. We're seeing some things that this might just be a take a nosedive spot for Minnesota. They're coming off the game against Golden State last night, which was a great win for them. Give them credit. They went into Golden State with a 99-96 win, held the Warriors to 34 of 82 shooting, but back-to-back now against a Sacramento team that continues to play well. They've won their last 2 home games. They're just sitting there waiting for them. And now we're seeing that for Minnesota, it looks like Karl Anthony Towns is not going to play tonight, and also Anthony Edwards downgraded to questionable here for the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. So Towns is out. Edwards downgraded to questionable probably means it's more likely he's out than in. So it kind of tells you this is kind of we're taking a powder tonight if I'm Minnesota. It sure looks that way to me. So it feels like it's a Sacramento or pass. You either bet Sacramento or you don't bet it. Probably lean to the over as well. We should see some points between these two teams tonight. What do you think here, Skee? Timberwolves, Kings.
Back with this motherfucking game, man.
All right, Dutch, mini Sacramento.
Come on, man. Hey, man, why you leave money on the table, Ski? This game might put a smile on your face, homeboy. Oh, man, De'Aaron Fox will be back ready to rock and roll. I mean, come on, man. I got a way better number. When this show started, I was still fucking with the 5.5, but I beat that too. So both games I like an awful lot today, the Nuggets and the Kings, and the numbers getting up there, but I still think these are clear spots here. And I do think both teams win by double digits. So the Kings have lost 2 out of 3 to the Wolves this year. Most recently at the crib, they lost in Sacramento, to the Wolves. I don't think they're going to come in and do it again. It was in a back-to-back situation before. They're in another back-to-back situation this time. Huge win, though. Probably a win they shouldn't have had last night in the Bay. They get it. I think Bobano's right. They're kind of like, whew, we got that one. Let's just call it one. They got Phoenix on deck here in 2 nights. I do think when they did play recently too, it was a very close game there. 138-134 in Sac. They lost, as I mentioned. But Sacramento's been bet on, man. I'm telling you, all year they have won 8 out of the last 11 basketball games, 7-2 against the number last 9. And as a favorite, they win by an average of 6 points per game. So the number's getting a little up there now. 7's probably, a little up there. But I do think Minnesota, entire basketball team, kind of was as I mentioned, kind of just feeling themselves after getting away with the lucky win, I think, in Golden State. Probably should have lost that one. So they get the W there. They're going to get ran out the gym in Sacramento tonight. They do clinch tonight, too, a playoff berth if they win this basketball game. De'Aaron Fox will be ready to go. Sabonis will get off. It's clear Sacramento spot tonight, in my opinion.
They do have a good little thing going on with the team. I mean, there's good camaraderie. There's the players are now tight-knit group, which maybe didn't have. I think Mike Brown's a big part of that. You see Mike Brown going to bat for Keegan Murray in his press conference the other day, saying he should be first-team all-rookie, and saying absolutely he should be. If he's not, it's bullshit. That was his exact quote. Just that kind of stuff. Coach has the players back. They got a nice little thing going in Sacramento. You can tell there's good harmony, unlike when Walton and the other numbnuts was there. What's his name? Gentry, and they didn't play a lick of defense there in Sacramento. A lot different now. Sacramento. It's been a nice season for them. Yeah, I think it's their spot. Absolutely, for sure. It's just it's like Ace of Base. I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. Yeah, I saw the sign, and the sign is Towns has just been ruled out, and Edwards is down to questionable. That tells you it's a team that might be just packing it in tonight after the big win against Golden State last night. So that's what I think makes Sacramento the look here. And I'm not a big Sacramento let's lay points with him guy. I haven't been all year, but I think this might be the spot to do it. What do you think here, Billy? Minnesota, Sacramento.
Let's light the beam, baby. Light the beam.
I'm waiting for that. That's it.
That was it. That was it.
Nothing more needs to be said. Exactly.
It was a one-liner.
There you go.
Like the beam, baby. The line's getting carried away.
All right. So there you go. Nothing more needs to be added than that. Sacramento for Dutch and I are on Sacramento anyway for this one with the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right. Next up, we've got in this next game, New Orleans taking on Portland. It is New Orleans 11.5-point road favorites, 226.5, 227 is the total in this game. Pelicans, they're getting bet up from 8.5 all the way to 11 here in this one. Portland, of course, they are ravaged right now in terms of who's exactly going to be playing for them right now. I'm looking at their starting five as the Villanova kid from years ago. When's the last time he's been in the starting lineup? Holy gosh. That's where we're at right now with Portland.
Don't start shitting on Ryan Archie.
Yeah, he's a good, I know he can come in there and make some shots. I get it. But when's the last time we've seen him in a goddamn starting five? I mean, seriously. I mean, Ryan Arcidiacono now is in the starting five here for Portland. We got not Shannon Sharp, Shaden Sharp for the Portland Trailblazers. You can find Shannon Sharp at Laker games on the routine, but this is Shaden Sharp, Matisse Thybulle, Nasir Little, and Drew Eubanks. That's your starting five tonight for the Blazers. And I can see why they're betting the hell out of the Pelicans with that starting five on the floor. Obviously, there's no Reddish is a game-time decision, although I don't know if he's going to play. It looks like he might. Probable for him. Watford, same thing. But Grant's out. Nurkic is out. Simons is out. Winslow's out. And the big one, of course, Damian Lillard. He's been shut down for the season here for the Blazers. So I get it why everyone's excited about laying with New Orleans. Do you want to lay this many, though? They did beat the Clippers by 21. I was on New Orleans, +5 against the Clippers the other night, and a great win for them Saturday against the Clippers. But I don't know if I want to lay 11. It's a lot of points here in this game, but I want no part of Portland, clearly. Brandon Ingram over his point prop. I say roll with that. Brandon Ingram's on a great run right now for the Pelicans. He's been shooting the ball extremely well. Portland play a lick of defense anyway. Why can't he get 30 points tonight for the Pelicans? So Brandon Ingram props over his point prop. I like that one. What do you think here, Skee? New Orleans, Portland.
I would only be looking towards New Orleans. You already, talked about the injury report for Portland. There's not a lot to be inspired about. They're the fourth worst offensive rated team the last 5 games, going up against the best defensive rated team, also the best team defending the three all season long. So I would only look towards the Pelicans. Blazers are also on a back-to-back, and I would also be looking at maybe Blazers team total under. Only 2 ways I would look to play this one.
Yeah, CJ McCollum, you're right, the revenge angle. He's, every time he plays Portland, he probably wants to play well. So that makes sense too. I like Ingram's prop more. but I wouldn't talk anyone out of CJ. McCollum over 20.5 points. What do you think here, Dutch? New Orleans, Portland.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Cuban Connect. I see you, my dude. Andrew G in the building. Zachary, I see you, my man. Yeah, the Pelicanos, man. This is a big number, but shit. It's the B squad for the Rip City. Last 5 wins for the Pelicanos. They win by average 17 points per game. And they have covered in 9 of the last 13 meetings versus the Trailblazers. So I think don't be scared. I guess it's Pelicanos. Not something I'm going to do, but I mean, it's embarrassing what's going on in Portland. So it's fade P-Town right now, and Pelicanos seem to be, laying the wood on opponents right now. So don't be scared of the big number if you do like the Pelicanos pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might sprinkle on the big number, but I think if you like New Orleans in any way tonight, just go Ingram over points, McCollum over points. I think you probably got a good chance to go 2-0 with those props. I think and Ingram's been just on fire lately. So both of them, I think CJ is going to be inspired to get his fill offensively against his old team as well. What do you think here, Billy? Blazers hosting the Pelicans.
At first, I kind of thought about that, and then you really think about it. Who's really out there on the court? I mean, is CJ really going to have hard feelings for Shannon Sharp and freaking Drew
Ryan Arcidiacono? He's got a
Ryan
with him. Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even play with these people. He probably doesn't give a fuck about this game, to be honest with you. If anything, it's probably a Brandon Ingram game. His props are probably a little bit undervalued in this one. This is a backwood, though. Lean towards Pelicans team total over. They've been putting up a lot of points, but to be honest with you, Pelicans first half of the back-to-back, they got the spot circled for tomorrow, man. They're going up to Golden State, playing Curry and the boys. I don't think the Pelicans give a fuck about this game, nor should we, and we shouldn't have our money on this. If I had to make a play on this one, it would actually be the Blazers home dog spot, but that is the last thing I need to be doing on a Monday night. Filling in for my guy Wham Bam, so I definitely don't need to be adding extra bullshit plays that I wasn't even thinking about prior to the show, so backwood.
All right.
And hell, I mentioned CJ and Brandon Ingram over points props. 5 straight games for JV going over his point total for New Orleans, Jonas Valanciunas. So, you could even look in that direction as well. And Trey Murphy, don't sleep on him. Over threes, over points for him. He's been trending in that direction as well. So it's a good prop game on the Pelicans side, in my opinion. There's so many different options you could roll with. It's funny, we got JV facing JV tonight. Valanciunas against JV as in junior varsity team, because that's what it looks like Portland's got trotting out on the basketball court here tonight. All right, final game of this Monday card, Chicago Bulls, LA Clippers. We got the Clippers 4.5-point home favorites, 220.5 the total in this game. This is a fascinating one because we look at the Chicago team and we see how inconsistent they are one game to the next, but they've put together finally a couple of really good performances in a row. And in fact, they've won 5 of their last 6. They've covered 5 of their last 6. On this road trip, they beat Portland and the Lakers in back-to-back wins for them, 118-108 over the Lakers yesterday afternoon, the matinee affair in LA. And now, yes, it's back-to-back, but there's no travel. You're in the same building, same city, same hotel probably. You play a day game yesterday. You're playing a night game tonight. So it's not that same back-to-back. It's not that, tedious, tough, strenuous back-to-back that it normally is. So I think the Bulls could be the play here again, believe it or not. I mean, I'm not totally enamored with laying points with the Clippers. I cashed a ticket with New Orleans. You're getting 5 against the Clippers the other night. And, you just look at the situation without Paul George here for the Clippers, and it just puts so much on the plate of Kawhi. It really does. And if he's not having a huge night, it becomes tough for the Clippers not only to win, but win by margin. They've got to not only, win this game, but they got to, win by at least 5 or more points. That may not be the easiest thing here. I mean, the Bulls, like I say, it's back-to-back in theory, but it's not necessarily back-to-back in situation in terms of it's the same situation as, let's say, going from Miami to Detroit on a back-to-back with travel. No, you're in the same city. You don't have to travel. You played a day game yesterday. You're playing a night game tonight. This is an easy, digestible back-to-back here tonight for the Chicago Bulls. So I do like Chicago here, 4.5, 5 as underdogs in this one. Skee, what do you think? Bulls, Clippers?
I would only look towards the Bulls. They've been playing really good basketball just since Pat Bev has been over there, and I think they're motivated to make the playoffs and improve their seeding, however you want to call it. So I like them. I'm more impressed with what they've done versus the Clippers, especially without Paul George. So Bulls, only way I look in this game, maybe also an under because I know the Bulls have been playing really good defense, and you're obviously missing a lot of scoring without PG for the Clippers side.
All right, so Bulls and lean under as well. All right, Dutch, Chicago Bulls, LA Clippers.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy RP. I see you, my man. Darren Turner in the building. Cheshire Cat. I see you, my man. Slow Jams and Billy Slow Jams. Yeah, I like the Bulls here a lot. The chat likes the Bulls a lot. A lot of love for the Bulls from you too as well. Yeah, I think, man, say what you will about PG, but I really think you're going to see how good of a basketball player he is because I don't think Russell Westbrook and Eric Gordon could be your starting backcourt and you could really win basketball games like on a consistent basis. I mean, it's all on Kawhi, and we know this motherfucker really don't even really want to play basketball that often. So he'll have his moment. He'll have a game tonight, I expect. But now without PG, you look at that roster and it's kind of like, man, I mean, really? I don't see it. Like Eric Gordon and Russell Westbrook, your starting guards. Okay. You could say this about the Bulls when you have Caruso and Beverly, but one thing you're going to get out of them is consistent defense, and they're going to play consistent basketball nonstop. Just like they're going to give 110% effort. So I like Levine. I like DeRozan. I like what's going on. Plus, Vooch got kicked out of last night's game. He only played 15 minutes. So really, he wasn't on a back-to-back as well. So they about 10 deep now with Drummond giving them solid minutes. You got, the couple additions they made, they're not so top heavy as much as they were. It's not really a true back-to-back. So I think the Bulls right now with all the movement on the card, plus 4.5 is probably the best value, I think, on the card now with, the line movements that we had at this time of the day.
All right, there you go. Liking the Bulls as well here is Dutch. All right, Billy Briz, what do you think here, Bulls Clippers?
I'm kind of with Skee's statement about the under. Chicago on the second half of back-to-backs or 5 and 8 towards the over-under, or I should say 8 and 5 towards the under. And the Clippers without PG-13 are minus 5.8 offensive rating and 27 then 11 over-under at home. So a lot of things lean towards this under 221 here.
All right, liking the under a little bit here for Billy in this one. And prop-wise in this game, I'd probably look at points and assists over for Levine. Levine's been a go-to prop for the last, I would say, week or so for me with Chicago. Scoring, dishing the ball, dropping dimes as well for Chicago. So over points and assists with Zach Levine. I like that quite a bit here for Chicago tonight in this one. All right, good stuff. That is the Monday NBA card. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much, everyone on YouTube. Shout out to those in the chat. Great Monday slate. Good to be back here. And thanks to Billy Briz for stepping on up today, filling in for our guy Wham, who's in transit right now on his way back home from San Antonio. So good stuff there. Thanks to Billy Briz for stepping up. And, of course, you'll be able to see him on the show, I believe, tomorrow, with Durrell and with Dutch on the Tuesday edition of NBA Pub Hub. All right, we got Best Bets, Dutch's Freshest Look. It's all coming up right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke at Southtown 101 and manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping of anything at manscaped.com with promo code PubSports. All right, best bets for this OG Monday edition of the NBA Pub Up. Skee, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, let me go last this time, Bobano, because I have a feeling somebody else likes my best bet.
All right, there we go. Always in a giving mood. Skee Profit here on the NBA Pub Hub. All right, Dutch, freshest look.
Yeah, man. Hey, we're gonna go right where motherfucking Ski be at. The beach, man, right near the beach, La La Land, man. And with the line movement, I do like the Kings and I do like the Nuggets an awful lot. But the Chicago Bulls definitely will bully the fuck out of the Clippers tonight. That plus 4.5 is good money. They might fuck around and win a basketball game. Believe it.
All right, there we go. Freshest look for Dutch. All right, Billy Briz, best bet.
Yeah, best bet for me tonight. We are going to go take a trip to Indiana, and we're going to back the Mavericks on the first quarter right here, -0.5, a bucket here. Good spot for the Mavericks tonight. Pacers, worst first quarter ATS team. I don't trust the Mavericks full game, but I trust the motherfuckers in the first quarter.
All right, there we go. Mavericks first quarter. Can they finally get their shit together with Kyrie and Luka the Don tonight? We'll see. But Billy likes them early. First quarter, Dallas over Indiana. Best bet for Billy Briz. You know what? I'll do my best bet actually before Skee's out. Skee said get me last. I meant it. The last, even after me. So I'll go next for best bet. I'm going to go with that last game on the board we just talked about here. Chicago Bulls. Plus 4.5 here against the LA Clippers. Cashed a ticket with New Orleans Saturday against the Clippers. Bulls are playing better. It's not the same back-to-back that is, a bad spot necessarily. Not when you played a day game yesterday, a night game tonight. There's no travel involved. You're in the same city, same building. It's very doable, very manageable for Chicago, and I think they show it tonight. Chicago plus 4.5 against the Clippers for my best bet on this Monday slate. And now we'll get to Skee. Skee, what do you like? Best bet.
Yeah, go get him, Bobano. Bo Jackson likes the Clippers minus 200. I want you to win that bet. My best bet for the show, I'm going to go with, somebody said you can't, or I wasn't taking the double-digit favorites, so we'll take one for today. We'll go Knicks minus 13.5. Rockets have not covered one game as an unrested double-digit dog. 0-6, losing by an average of over 20 points per game. 13.5 is good money.
All right, there you go. So they have not covered once second of back-to-backs, no rest. Have not covered once this year. Houston as a double-digit underdog in this spot. So there you go. That's pretty strong. New York Knicks minus 13.5 against Houston for Skee Profit and his best bet. All right, that'll wrap it up. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit that like button on the way out for Skee Profit, for Dutch, for Billy Briz. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow on Tuesday for the NBA Pub Up right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to all the real ones holding us down in the chat. Slow Jams, Cheshire Cat, Cuban Connect, RP, Cheshire Cat, RVD, D Mills, my guy. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.